Thank you very much for that introduction. Let me add my welcome to that's been expressed. We're thrilled you have chosen to spend the next 2 days with us here. We hope that you will find this conference to be of great value to you and do everything in our capacity to try to make that come to pass. I know Jake Saul has really worked tirelessly to put together both a good schedule of events as well as inviting the individuals that are key to making this conference worthwhile. So Jake, thank you so much for that. I'll have the briefest of opening remarks. As someone who has devoted his life to accountancy, at least professionally, I would like to make a few comments here at the outset. Because in advanced economies, information is the key, or a key at least, to effective management and governance. And when one acknowledges that, one then needs to immediately ask, what attributes does data need in order to be helpfully informative? That is, to possess decision utility. And my profession believes that if financial information is to be useful, it must be relevant, that is, it is pertinent to the decisions to be made, and it must be representationally faithful, that is, it has high fidelity to the events and circumstances in the real world that it purports to describe. Financial reports represent economic phenomena in words and numbers, and to be a perfectly faithful representation, a depiction would need 3 characteristics, and those characteristics are completeness, to be free from error, and to be neutral. 2 of these attributes, I think, are intuitively understandable and acceptable. Completeness, freedom from error, but neutrality perhaps deserves a word or two, a brief explanation. We want the information, we as accountants want the information to be useful and to affect decisions. We want humans to rely on the information that is produced in making the decisions that they do. That information, however, should not be prepared in a way as to encourage a particular outcome or a set of decisions. That information should not be biased so as to encourage a particular decision. Indeed, the information should be free from bias. As you know, or at least anyone knows that deals with accounting information in any degree of detail, to a large extent, financial information is based on estimates, judgments, allocations, valuations that are very subjective and involve considerable vagueness, nuance, and uncertainty. These attributes then allow that information to be susceptible to bias. And I urge that each of you in your roles as users of information, preparers of information, auditors and attestors of the information, to work to thwart that natural tendency to bias the information. Because such bias, I believe, is harmful and corrosive to the trust and effectiveness we all must have in each other and in the information on which we're basing many of our decisions. One other comment. Accrual accounting depicts the events of transactions and other events and claims on those resources and the economic resources of a company in the periods in which the events occur, rather than in the periods in which cash may flow, cash receipts are received, cash disbursements are made. This is important because information about a reporting entity's financial position, resources, and claims on those resources, and its economic and financial performance is considered to provide, by my profession at least, a much better basis for assessing the entity's past performance and future prospects than is information that solely focuses on cash receipts and cash disbursements. I don't deny the value of cash basis and near cash basis information. Indeed, a focus on short-term financing is of considerable importance. Issues such as liquidity, financial flexibility, the ability to meet obligations timely when they come due is of extraordinary importance, and accounting information can help inform those assessments and judgments. But I also think that a focus on long-term finances, which has been notably absent in governments. I served for 10 years as a member of the Governmental Accounting Standards Board here in the United States, and I was privileged in those 10 years to take a model that had just been put in place by my predecessors on that board and try to improve it. And that model focused on long-term issues primarily. What are the full cost of services that are being provided to the citizenry? And there are many, many questions about how to measure those phenomena. But if the goal is to measure what the cost of services are and what resources are being consumed by an enterprise, you necessarily change your focus to a longer-term viewpoint. And that focus centers on sustainability, durability, and resilience. So for all those reasons, I think we can't have a singular focus on the short term to the exclusion of long-term considerations. When a commitment is made, for example, to a pension contribution for individuals that will need to be paid only in 20 or 30 years when they retire, to ignore that from assessing the economic consequences of that gesture and that commitment is unhealthy, unwise, and eventually leads to problems that are often almost insurmountable. We see bankruptcies of governmental units occurring, I think, in the United States, state and local government units, at a rate and to an extent that is probably unprecedented since the Great Recession many, many decades, almost 100 years ago. One way to avoid that is to focus more on the long term and the economic consequences and implications of the commitments that are being made. So I urge each of you in the conduct of your affairs to keep those things in mind. Insist on neutral, objective information. Try to thwart bias. I also urge you to focus certainly on the short term. I also urge you to focus on longer term phenomenon that allow one to assess the sustainability of the course that has been set by a government, by a business, by a society. I thank you very much for the attention. Let me reiterate my welcome. I'm thrilled to have you all on our campus, and we look forward to a great couple of days. As one of the sponsoring organizations, the folks here to my right are here to assist you. If you do have problems or issues you'd like resolved, if it's parking or telephones or whatever it is, the need to transmit data, please see me or see any of them, and we will certainly assist you in any way we can. Again, welcome and thank you.